Proverbs 29:2 says, "When the righteous increase, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan." There's been a lot of good people groaning all across America under the last administration. However, a new rejoicing has come into our land with the elected choice of the American people in Donald Trump. He's the only president who's been of the people, by the people, and for the people in a very long time. He's been raised by God to lead the fight in this time of great turmoil and is bringing back law and order to our nation. In doing so, he is reestablishing respect for our Constitution and is committed to not stray away from its timeless wisdom. You're about to see a clip of a meeting recently held in the White House, a good example of the groaning of the righteous men and women that took place under the rule of arguably the worst administration America ever knew.
San Capistrano City Council for the last 3 years, but I've also served on the community engagement panel of the San Onofre nuclear power plant, which is, they call it SONGS. And they, back in 2001, were testifying before Congress that the terrorists were saying target the power plants. So the fact that we have this unsecured border is putting us at great risk because we know that terrorists are coming in. But with respect to the power plant, that is number one that has the worst safety record in the nation. And one of the questions that I asked—
It's a nuclear power plant.
Yes.
And the terrorists are coming in alongside
exactly,
of the
and you can get into that power plant with really, you can just drive in. And so I asked them actually during one of the meetings, I said, so you have a no-fly zone, right, with respect to the power plant? And they said yes. And I said, so what would happen if an airplane flew in to that no-fly zone? Would you shoot it down? They said no, and that was on the record. And so I just think that it's a Fukushima #1 waiting to happen. It's on an active earthquake fault in a tsunami zone where they're storing this radiation, which is 124 times that of Chernobyl and improperly stored, and there's no security. So I think that
we'll check it out.
Okay.
It doesn't sound too good. It doesn't sound like the greatest, right?
Exactly.
We'll check it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Margaret?
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, sheriffs in California are now in an untenable position when it comes to trying to figure out, now we have state law, we have federal laws, and here we are stuck in the middle. Sheriffs especially, because most of us run our county jails. When there became a legal challenge to the 48-hour holds for ICE, it was very frustrating for us. So what I did is I invited ICE to put their officers in my jail so they're able to do their work. We didn't have the staffing to be able to help figure out who they wanted to talk to, who they didn't. I said, come on in, work with our people to keep our community safe. 2 weeks later, Mr. President, Kate Steinle was murdered. Yeah. Now, I wasn't the only sheriff to do that. Sheriff Youngblood did, Sheriff Christensen, and it was perfect because we didn't have to take our time with our staff to do anything. ICE was in there doing their work in a safe, controlled environment, and then the initiatives started happening. The Trust Act, the Truth Act, and finally SB 54, the Values Act. And that is causing us all kinds of turmoil. So here we are, stuck in the middle, trying to decide. We have federal law, we have state law, and that's why I welcomed Attorney General Sessions' lawsuit, because that will provide us clarity that we need and direction that we need. What do we do? Because here we are. And I appreciated Mr. Holman and the ICE. We had a great relationship. We still do. But now ICE is the only law enforcement agency that cannot use our databases to find the bad guys. They cannot come in and talk to people in our jail unless they reach a certain threshold. They can't do all kinds of things that other law enforcement agencies can do. And it's really put us in a very bad position. It's a disgrace.
And we're suing on that, and we're working hard, and I think it'll all come together. Because people want it to come together. It's so ridiculous. The concept that we're even talking about is so ridiculous. We'll take care of it, Margaret.
Thank you. There could be an MS-13 gang member I know about. If they don't reach a certain threshold, I cannot tell ICE about them.
Yep. We have people coming into the country or trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals. And we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before. And because of the weak laws, they come in fast. We get them, we release them, we get them again, we bring them out. It's crazy. The dumbest laws, as I said before, the dumbest laws on immigration in the world. So we're going to take care of it, Marvin. We'll get it done. We're going to ask that man right there because that man can do it. Right now he's the most important man in the room. Kevin can do it. Kevin, please.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you because most people around the country do not realize how your hands are tied behind your back. The only thing you want to do is to have safe streets, safe neighborhoods, and protect your communities. And for California legislature to go against the Constitution, one of the greatest strengths of this nation, we're fortunate to be in this room, is the rule of law. They are breaking down society by breaking down the rule of law. That you have a known criminal that you can't communicate with ICE about. We know how bad this is, but from one aspect, we should be excited. Because we have a new president that understands this problem. Since he has taken office, we have lowered the illegal crossings across this border. That stops gang members from coming across. He has started building the wall, $1.6 billion. And you know where that wall is starting to be built? In California. He has pushed a number of bills through. One, to try to stop sanctuary cities. To reward those who uphold the Constitution. Second, to stop the MS-13 gang members. And you know what's interesting after you move that bill? A governor of New York, Mr. Cuomo, who thought that wasn't a problem, I saw him sign one similar just the other day because he watched what was happening as well. So collectively, it was city councils and sheriffs. City council, not your full-time job, but you listened to your community. You saw the problem that was going on. So things are improving. And that's why I'm so thankful for this president to call us together, because collectively we'll be stronger. Secretary is doing an amazing job. I'll tell you the number of times we meet or call at all hours of night trying to make sure she can protect it. Attorney General just talked to me last night around 10 o'clock. And so from that perspective, we are in this together, but we're in it for the Constitution. We're in it for the security and the safety of our streets, and I thank you for leading the charge.
Well, we want to thank you, Kevin. You have done an incredible job. And you're sort of going against the tide, but now the tide's sort of with us because you see it in the room. I mean, a year ago, 2 years ago, this would have been unthinkable to have you all in the room talking the way we're talking, but you're fed up with what's happening. And Kevin, thank you very much. You're doing really great. Stacy.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for your leadership in your office and on this issue. I am delighted and privileged to be here, and it is so wonderful to be here among all of you as well, because you're all on the front lines in your own communities fighting this fight. I was born and raised in California, been an attorney there for 24 years, got my start in the law when 3 strikes was starting out in California, and developed a real passion for prosecution. I was the appointed district attorney, and I've been the elected district attorney now for 4 years. And in the last 4 years, I have seen California become a disaster. It's been tragic to watch my state pass laws that basically have sent our communities into a very dangerous place. In Lassen County, we're a very small community, but I'm pleased to say when you're talking about voting that you have supporters in California. Lassen County voted overwhelmingly for you in California. I believe we had the highest margin in all the 58 counties in California. You are loved in Lassen County. And I believe that to a certain extent, we are sort of a forgotten part of California. We are rural California, and we do not stand for the policies in Sacramento. We have a horrible problem in our public lands, in our forests. We've got illegals, drug cartels that have come up to grow on our public lands and in our forests, and they are decimating it. They are killing
And you
wildlife.
can't even do anything about it.
There is not a thing we can do. We work with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, who file charges that do the best that they can. But these people are coming into our forests. They're endangering our citizens. They are armed. They're setting up camps and they're growing mass amounts of marijuana on our public lands. They are killing wildlife. They're diverting streams. The damage that they're causing both to the economy and to our public lands is going to be generational. A large portion of these people that are coming in to do this are illegal immigrants. Because of the legalization of marijuana in California, now we're seeing those same individuals working with other criminal groups, the Asian groups, the Russian groups, the motorcycle groups, all kinds of organized crime. It's bringing into
So
rural
legalization
California.
made it worse?
The legalization made it worse, yes. I believe the legalization made it worse. I've been appalled. As a district attorney, someone who's sworn to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the state, that we have fallen so far in California. We also have other issues. We are prosecuting an illegal immigrant right now who has been deported several times and has had a violent criminal history, who hit and killed a 16-year-old kid, a boy in our community, and fled the scene. So his case is pending right now. After I brought the suit, I was promptly served with a gag order to prevent me from talking about the case. It's been very frustrating. Also, I've received correspondence, and I know that every DA's office in California has received correspondence from the ACLU and their affiliate organizations pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act and the California Public Information Act, wanting to know what policies, we want to see what policies your office is implementing. What have you done to ensure compliance with SB 54? Well, the response from my office was very simple. We have nothing, because this office will stand for the rule of law. Lassen County stands for the rule of law, and we have no policies to give you because we will not issue such policies from this desk and from this office. We stand with you. We are delighted with the actions that you have taken, Mr. Sessions. The people of Lassen County stand with you. I stand with you.
Thank
And
you.
we appreciate everything that you're doing.
Yep. Thank you, Stacey.
You're welcome.
Beautifully said. Thank you very much.